our May with the Glen Carbon Library. Miss Chrissy and my helpers,
Nora.
we have, say your name again?
Nora, Evie, Abel.
Abel, awesome. And we might even get a shot of Luna in the background a little bit later. Okay, so for this STEM activity, you are going to get to engineer a marble maze. So the supplies that you're going to need for this are kind of up to you. The one thing you definitely have to have is a marble. So any kind of marble is going to work. Size doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. Nothing like that. Just a marble that'll roll and a paper plate. Okay? Then the materials that you use to construct your maze are really up to you. But here are some ideas. Okay? We've got straws, toothpicks, yarn, and this is some dry pasta. Any shape could work potentially. It's up to you and what you want to use with it. This happens to be ziti. And then you're going to need some kind of material to glue or tape or stick your supplies to the paper plate. And you're going to engineer a maze. And the only objective, the only rule is that it has to be a maze, it has to be completely inside the plate, and it has to work. Outside of that, it is up to you to engineer however you want this maze. Now, let's review what engineering is. Do you guys remember from way back when we did the hover plates and we read the book, or we talked about the book Rosie Revere Engineer, and we talked about the engineering process? I'm going to link another one of those intro videos from, I think, National Geographic or NASA Kids. One of those. They both have good engineering introduction videos to watch. But the process is basically, the first thing we have to do is, does anybody remember what the first thing we have to do is for engineering? What do you think, Abel?
We first have to get the thing that we're gonna put the stuff on.
Okay, yeah.
We need to plan it out.
Not yet. First, before we even start planning this, we gotta identify the problem. We gotta identify the objective, which is kind of tricky. I kind of tricked you. That's kind of a trick question because I already gave you that part, didn't I? I told you the objective is to make a maze on a paper plate that works. Okay, that's the problem. The problem is how to make a maze that's gonna work. Okay, the next step then is to plan. Okay, like Evie said, we're gonna brainstorm some ideas. We're gonna plan out what we think is gonna work the best. Abel? Thank you. We're gonna plan out what we think is gonna work the best. Okay, what comes next after we make the plan? What do you think?
We've got to like trial and error.
Trial and error, yeah.
Get the supplies.
Get the supplies, yeah. So you're got both kind of right. So you're going to collect the supplies that you need for the plan that you made, and you're going to build your first prototype. Okay? Which last time when we did the hover plate, we used somebody else's prototype. So we kind of skipped these first two steps, which is what we're going to focus on mostly with this activity. Okay? Then once you've built your prototype, what do you got to do, Abel? What do you got to do once you have your tester? What do we got to do?
Use it.
Use it! You got to try it. You're exactly right. You got to test it out to see if it works. And then what, Nora?
I just made a guess.
It was a right guess.
You got to build?
Well, we've already built it. We've got our prototype and we tested it. When we're done, what do?
We edit it.
Edit it. That's right. That's a word that we typically use for English, for language arts, when we're writing, but we write our draft, then we go over and we check it, and then we edit it and make any changes to it. And that is exactly what we're going to do with our engineering, with our designs for our mazes. What we're going to do is after we're done testing it, we're going to go back and we're going to see what things we can make better. We're going to redefine and identify the changes that we can make to make it even better. So, we are on our own for the whole process. You guys can choose whatever materials you want to make a maze. I'm not going to give you any hints to start with, and we'll just see what you come up with. Now, if you happen to be watching this video at home, you can skip ahead and see what they come up with, or you can do it with us and you can hit pause and you can go try and make it however you want, and then come back and see what we did, and then we can redefine and figure it out together. Okay, so you're going to be engineering a marble maze. Let me review the rules. Okay, the maze has to fit on the paper plate. You have to be able to get from one side to the other, and it can't break. It has to work. Yes.
Can you move the marble like?
You should. Well, I think the idea is we're gonna use the plate and tilt the plate very slowly,
like those
softly,
little game things.
like the labyrinth games. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. Is we're making our own little labyrinth game on a paper plate with a marble. Okay. All right. Let's engineer.
Break. Engineers, how did it go? I hope everyone had fun designing their prototypes. I know we did. We're going to each test and try out our prototype and then come up with some ideas. As we were working on our first prototypes, we already kind of came up with some things, some tips that might be helpful. First of all, we forgot to grab scissors. So we knew we'd need scissors to cut our straws to make different things, or to cut yarn, or whatever it is that you're using. We used some hot glue. So if you have a hot glue gun, it might be useful to use for this. If you do use it, make sure you have your grown-ups' permission and that you are safe with it, because it is hot and it can burn your fingers. So let's check these prototypes out. I'm going to come around and I'm going to film each one of the kids doing their prototypes. And I made one too. So I'm going to have Evie, I think, maybe film me trying my prototype out, so we can kind of discuss some tips and tricks for how we can refine and improve our prototypes. All right, here's Nora's prototype. Woo, it went right around the end, huh? Mm-hmm. Why don't, while you're doing it, tell us a little bit about what you used and how you did it. I used the hot glue right here and under here. I put it over so that the straws and noodles would stay, and I put straws and noodles in random places just to make it a little harder. And then I did this like swirl so that it'd be harder to get to the end. And I think that was not a very good idea, because this could have gone, this goes around. So I'm gonna have to put a straw right there and maybe a straw right here. And I'm thinking, just to make it a little harder, I'm gonna put a string right there, so you have to go over the string.
Ooh, tricky.
So you're gonna have to like pop up the plate.
Good tips. I like what you did, and that we have some ideas about how to improve it. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Evie, let's see what you got. Tell us a little bit about what you have there.
So I decided that I was going to put just a bunch of noodles and straws in some random places.
Okay.
And some of them, it was too easy to get by, so I decided to change them around a little bit so it'd be harder.
Okay, awesome. I like it. All right, Abel, why don't you tell us what you used?
I use straws and I just put it dead ends so it would be harder for the marble to go above the dead ends.
Okay.
So, and the wood straws that kind of made a V, I cutted them with these scissors.
Okay.
And it made it harder because...
Yeah. And what did we learn about the tape?
that you had to push it down.
Or what would happen?
Or the marble couldn't go over.
That's exactly right. Very good.
And yay!
Okay, very good. And look, over here, Nora is already refining her prototype. Okay, let's have Evie record mine. Okay, so here's my design and what I did. I did a combination of straws that I cut and used the bendy part on to make corners, and I kind of pinched them and stuck them inside other straws. I used a combination of tape and a little bit of hot glue here along the last end, and I did some noodles. And on some parts, I decided to use just the edge of the plate. So let's see how this worked. Oh, and it looks like maybe my next prototype, I should put something here to block it so that it comes down this stretch like I wanted it to.
Put a straw right there.
To stop it here at the end, that's another good idea. When I first did it, these were a little bit closer, and when I first tried to get it through here, it wasn't quite wide enough for my marble to get by. So you need to make sure that your pathway is wide enough for your marble. So let's see if I can, there. And then that's what I wanted to do. But look, you can see too that sometimes Abel was having this problem on his. The marble will go over the straw. So do you think that toothpicks would be a good thing to use? Do you think the toothpicks are gonna hold the marble in place?
No.
I don't think so. And what about yarn? Do you think the yarn would work?
No.
No, probably not.
Maybe if you put it up higher.
Okay, so we're all going to continue to refine our mazes because remember Rosie Revere says in the book, Rosie Revere Engineer, that the only true failure can come if you quit. So it can be frustrating sometimes when our designs don't quite work out the way we want them to, but keep refining, keep brainstorming, and just keep trying, and you will come up with something amazing, I promise. I am so glad that we did this. I am so glad that you guys are continuing to refine even as I wrap this video up. It shows me that you really enjoyed this activity. I want to see you guys and how much you enjoyed it. Please send me some pictures of your mazes. Let me see what you came up with. And tell me how you refined it and how you made it better. This is the last STEM video until summer reading program starts, which is One World, Many Stories. And in the summertime, we are going to do 2 STEM videos each month. So we're going to have 2 in June and 2 in July. And June and July. And the videos and the activities and the projects and the experiments are going to be bigger, and they're going to be messier, and they're going to be sciencier, STEMier. I don't think that's a thing. So I can't wait to do those with you. I hope we get to do them soon, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Keep refining, keep trying, and make those mazes amazing. We'll see you next time, guys.
Amazing.